Yesterday was one of the nastiest days I've seen in a while. Last night, Bitcoin came as low as $78,000. We're getting a wick now coming up above the 200-day moving average, but this thing is falling out of my descending channel here. This really needs to see a V shape at least up to $95,000, $96,000, and it's got to do it soon. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking at dumping a lot of my positions here because I don't feel like holding it all the way down to $69,000. Okay. And that is where we're basically headed if this does not turn around. And I'm talking like today, tomorrow kind of time frame. If it doesn't make that turnaround, that's it. We're done here. Goodbye. The show's over. So that's what we're looking at right now. I wouldn't say it's completely over yet right at this moment, but we're getting close. We're getting to a point where I'm feeling like selling the rips. So I'm watching this right now, and if we come up here and we struggle at all around $100,000 again, like if it can't just like make a nice move above that, if this 100-day moving average holds it down and we lose this structure again underneath 94,000, like if we come up to like 100 and then we come up and we lose, here I'll draw it, and we lose this support right here again, yeah, that's it. I'm selling that rip, and I'm gonna be dumping in mass, basically all my stuff if we do that. So if we come up to 100, we lose this structure again. You know, this basically the structure that we built since November. We lose that again in the future. Yeah, I'm done. Goodbye. I'll be exiting from there in whatever profit that I have, and I will have profit at that point. It'll just be an annoying amount versus an amount that I actually want. So that's what I'll be looking at there. Solana coming back, actually, the only thing green today. Look at Ethereum down significantly. Right now, down almost 6%. Solana up 4.5%. Doge down 6% as well, getting back under 20 cents. I actually started nibbling again on Doge because I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Doge come off of these lows, come up to 34, 40 cents again, give me another double up from there. That's totally possible. I could see it coming up and testing the bottom of this area here, the bottom of this little zone right here, which would be 30 cents. That's a solid 10-cent pop. That's not bad. Maybe even overshooting a little bit into the 30s, maybe coming into like this structure up here, which would be the high 30s, low 40s. So that's very much possible on Doge. So yeah, that's why I started nibbling on Doge a little bit. I didn't go nuts on it, but I started to nibble. All right, let's take a look at, oh yeah, one thing. Remember, I brought Soxel to the channel a while ago, and remember, I brought it back to the channel back here when it was trading at like $34, $35. And remember, I said when this red cloud turns green, that's when it's go time. And look what happened yesterday. Down 17%. This is the worst the day I've seen in a while. I mean, has it been this bad before? Let me look. How about this big candle back here? Was that bigger? It was. All right. So it's not the worst thing ever. What happened after that? We got that. It piddled down a couple more days and then came right back up to the top of that candle. So, I mean, we could find this thing back up at $30 pretty quickly if things turn around. Like NVIDIA earnings weren't bad. They weren't that bad. They really didn't warrant an 8% sell-off of the stock. That was ridiculous. AMD fell 5%, Qualcomm 4%, like all of these ARMs 6%, AVGO 7% yesterday. None of these really warranted that kind of a sell-off. And they aren't really showing much in the way of recovery this morning. So I did cut AMD at a loss. That sucked. It went under $100. AMD went under $100. It was time to go. This was not coming back, and I don't know when. Actually, I know when it's coming back. It's coming back when it crosses up above the 30-day moving average. When it can cross up above the 30-day moving average, which is where it has failed time and time and time again, that is when this thing is finally done bleeding out. Okay, so watch that carefully. I don't know why my internet is so slow and has been so slow. It feels like my internet has been throttled lately, where it is constantly just being slow no matter what device I'm using, no matter what network I'm on. It's just slow. That's really frustrating. Anyways, AMD, it's been this blue line right in here. Turn off drawings real quick. This blue line right in here, that one. It's been failing there over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, when it breaks that line and comes back and retests it from above, that's when this is done. Until then, it's going to keep bleeding off. So I got in too early. I got in way too early. I got in the 120s, and it bled to under $100. So it was time to cut that trade. That was over. It's over. It's time to wait. This thing needs to take out this blue line, the 30-day moving average, come back above it, test it from above, much like back here, right? Watch on this 100-day moving average when this was holding us up here before, right? Came back, tested it from below, came down, came up to fake you out, came back down again, tested it from below, and then started to actually did 3 times before actually selling off. So we could see something like that, right? Come up, test it from above, come below it, come back up, make a lower high, test it from above, go below it a little bit, and then come back again. Like this thing might fake you out a bit, but here's what, yeah, here we go. This is what I want to see. All right, AMD, right here, this structure right here going from June 2023 until about October 2023. So basically that whole second half of the year in 2023. The 30-day, well, it wasn't a perfect hold beneath. It was kind of peaking above it. But once we came back, right, from beneath it, right, made a lowest low, came up, looped down, touched it, and then started to bounce, that was your signal. That was the signal of this thing is going to go higher. Basically, we didn't quite touch it, and then we got a green candle. That first green candle was your signal. Now, of course, that was, $30 higher than where you wanted to enter, because we all want to catch the lowest lows, but you know what, oftentimes that's not what happens. And then from there you had a nice move from you had a nice move from that first green candle. We came in here, you had a nice move of 80% from there. Okay, so that's pretty good. So we're looking at something like that now. We want to see it come from beneath the 30, come back from above, test it, give us a green candle off a bounce, maybe even just not even quite touch it and give us a bounce. And that first candle after that bounce is where I will be entering AMD in the future. Okay. Anyways, what else did I do? I started nibbling on Tesla yesterday. Tesla is touching the 200-day moving average. Now it could come lower. Now that it broke $300, it could come lower. I'm willing to watch this thing come all the way down to about 240. Anything beneath 240, and I will be having second thoughts about that decision. It could come all the way to 220, honestly. It could come to 220. It's very possible it could come to touch 220, which is that line there. I really want to see it bounce at 250, which is where that first spike of volume profile is down here. I'd really want to see that. The biggest spike is at 220. That would be very, very painful to hold through, but I guess I bought in at 300, so even 220 is $80 off. That's not the worst, especially if it starts to turn around. So yeah, it's a little fluid right now. I'm willing to hold it for a little while. I'd like to see it hit 250, give me a little bounce, come back up, test the 200 from below, at least from there, give myself a little profit. I'd probably sell it if I saw any kind of rejection at the 200-day moving average, with the expectation that's going to come to 220 from there. 220 should be a big old load your, back up the truck kind of moment, at least in my opinion. Of course, nothing I say is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Okay, let's take a look at miners real quick. We've got about 5 minutes to market open. Miners, all red in the pre-market. Yesterday, most of them were red except Mara and Corzi. Both reported earnings. Both reported pretty good earnings. Okay, my lotto play, so Luna, is completely bleeding out. I really hope everyone listened to me when I said that this was a lotto play. It was a zero or hero. So size your positions accordingly to something that you could let go to zero, because if you did not, you are suffering a lot right now. Like, I don't even think about that position. It's down like 60% for me right now. I don't even think about it, because I said from the beginning, it's zero or hero. It's going to be worth absolutely nothing, or it's going to be a huge amount. So far it looks like it's going to be worth absolutely nothing. Okay, so really important position sizing. If you're scared about your positions, you went too hard and you got to calm down. Anyways, let's see. CLSKW is up, is one of the only things up in pre-market. I don't know why. I think maybe the sell-off to CleanSpark being under $7 was a bit much, but it is down in pre-market as well. CleanSpark is getting absolutely destroyed. We sweeped the lows back here. That is bad for a top 3 miner. Like, really? What is this? What are they? They're treating this thing like it's going to zero. It's ridiculous. They are a top 3 Bitcoin miner. They're not going to zero. They're one of the most efficient ones. They're one of the ones that actually make money. Anyways, yeah, so we got to see this thing come up at least to $12 just to get back to equilibrium here on the volume profile. So like, this is trading at a steep discount right now as far as I'm concerned. Now, of course, if if Bitcoin can't come back, if Bitcoin cannot get back above $100,000, we're done here and see you again in 4 years, basically. Well, 2 years at the bottom of the bear. All right. That's what we're looking at today. It looks like it's going to be another absolutely garbage day. February is going to close out like trash. It looks like MicroStrategy dropped 8% yesterday. MSTX 17.99%. That hurts. That hurts a lot. If anyone in that, I feel your pain. I'm in that. I got I got in stupidly on here. Let's talk about how stupid I am right now. So I got in on this bad boy in this grouping right here, right? Okay, here we go. It was around the bottom of this grouping. Let me get around the bottom of this grouping here is where I got in. I got in at about my average was about 99, 97. And I was thinking, okay, it's going to come back up now, maybe to like 116. And then from there, I'll reassess. Instead, it just dumped and then dumped and then dumped some more. Wow. I went down hard on that. I lost about 60% of the value. So here was my thought process, right? It came all the way down from 220, right? 220. It was already trading at like a 55% discount when I got into it, right? When I got into it, it was already trading at a 55% discount. It's like, okay, maybe it'll come up, give me a little bounce. And then, and it did a couple bounces, but I got near the end of that. And then, maybe from there I'll get out and see what happens, right? And then from there, it dropped an additional 78%. It was already down 55%. It came down an additional 78%. So I feel your pain there for sure. Of course, I didn't size huge, but I sized a little bigger than I should have, and I'm definitely feeling that pain right there. Way more than the pain in Soluna. I don't even think about that one. This one I think about. That's the one I'm like, wow, that sucks. It'll be okay, but man, it sucks. Let's see. Is there anything else going on right now? Solana is really the only thing giving me any hope right now. Look at this. It's coming back. It's the only one coming back. Several times this has happened this cycle where Solana is the only one coming out of the lows. It is leading the pack. Solana is showing great strength compared to its peers. Do not disregard Solana. There are potentially now there's some news coming out about the ETFs for Solana. We could potentially within this year, maybe next year, see, and next year will be too late, so it'll be the next cycle, but we could see an ETF with staking on Solana coming soon. So watch out for that. That could be actually really advantageous. In fact, I live in California. They don't allow me to stake even my crypto Solana. So I would be actually shifting over to the ETF so I could get the staking in that respect. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm watching for that. I'm looking for that. I will roll my Solana into that when it comes. So because the rules of my state, and it's kind of frustrating and irritating because like, what do you even care? It's just interest. Why do you suck so bad? But yeah, that's that. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. It's a pretty bleak day. Things are pretty rough. Remember that the back end of February is generally the worst time of the year, especially in the first turn, the first year of a new president. So this is all kind of normal. We really need to see recovery come quickly in the next week. Otherwise, we could be looking at some pretty bad sell-offs coming. More terrible sell-offs coming in the future if that doesn't happen. Okay, so. I'm not super duper panicked yet. Okay, the 200-day moving average in Bitcoin is still holding. We could come up very quickly. Just a quick V shape would take us back into the 90s, into the mid 90s. If we cannot get back over $100,000 with relative ease, especially with this big sweep of liquidity down like this, right? If we struggle around the $100,000 mark, and it shows any weakness, comes back down beneath, $95,000, $94,000, I'm gonna be exiting. I'm gonna be exiting, and I'm gonna be waiting to see if it's gonna drop all the way back down to $69,000, or if it is gonna go and rocket up above 110. And above 110 is where I would re-enter. Anything below $90,000, I'd be shorting Bitcoin via the ETFs all the way down to 69,000 in that respect. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description as well as the channel bio, and have a profitable day.